Whoa. Oh my god. Yes, we just got a brand new Assassin's Creed Shadows update, the first one of 2026. I want to go over everything you need to know, also highlight the new Helix items that are in the game and that will eventually show up in the exchange. So this is brand new, that from the hideout you can now go to the exchange menu. And yeah, as a reminder, there are still some pretty cool items, including this horse mount and the fire chest piece for now for sale. This one is also pretty cool for Yasuke. You can check the stream in the live tab of the channel. And then you will see all the sort of items in action. Although this is the mount that again for a few more days is for sale. So this update brings 3 big things. And also some other interesting additions. So I want to start with the first one. And the first one is the manual jump. You can now at any point while running jump, which is pretty huge. So to activate this, you first want to go to the system settings, to options, and in gameplay you can go all the way down to advanced parkour. They basically added an extra line. Basically first it would stop you from jumping off heights that would be like 10 meters or higher. Now with advanced parkour you can enable it and jump from any height. But now the big new thing is press X while moving to perform manual jumps, allowing you to reach higher places with significantly accelerated parkour. Yeah, this means that you can basically from any point now jump and basically create completely new parkour paths. Whee! I can jump up here, go this way. Yeah, this completely changed the game. If you've been playing like the recent Mirage update, it gives you a great idea of what the changes basically bring. Yeah, jumping at any point. Kind of awesome. Should be able to jump on that lantern too. So normally you would climb. That's crazy that we can't reach that. He's still slow, of course, but yeah, it does create way more possibilities. Obviously, the thing with Shadows is still that the world is just not really made for parkour, so I think this is more just a good step in the right direction, and hopefully it means that every game moving forward will launch with a manual jump again, and that they also design the world more with parkour in mind, which is still kind of crazy to say because, hey, it's an Assassin's Creed game, you kind of should expect that, but yeah, with the RPG push, some of the core features from the older games just kind of took a back seat, and now they're taking a step in the right direction, which is nice. And speaking of RPG, after this update, Shadows feels way more like an RPG, because we finally have the detailed stat page. So hitting R3, so the right analog, in the inventory menu brings up this beautiful menu. I'm gonna move myself down a bit again. So here you see all your legendary perks that you have available, but it gets more interesting. So for one, we now finally learned what the impact of the difficulty settings are. So here you see I'm playing on Nightmare, so all my damage is times 0.77. So I only do 77% of my regular damage in Nightmare difficulty. It gets more interesting though, because we now also for the first time learned what the impact of the New Game Plus damage multiplier is. We knew that New Game Plus would make the game more difficult, but we did not know to which extent. And now we learn that in your first New Game Plus playthrough, your damage is times 0.90. But it gets even crazier because, and you see that right here, so over on my Discord, we have that one crappy guy who went and did like a second New Game Plus run to see what the damage impact was then, and it's 0.65. So if you are playing on the third or like a higher New Game Plus run, let me know, because your damage is significantly reduced. And first we did not notice. Like, this is one of the reasons why I think it's important to have a stat page in a game like this, because there are things that impact the way you play. You want to feel like you're in control. You want to feel like you're spending a ton of time in this game. You're upgrading all your items. And then you also want to know what the impact is, but also what kind of things are impacting your overall damage output. And I also love that they show the sources and kind of calculate it. How did you get to the Ground assassination health segment removal of 7. Well, 2 from your base and 5 from your masteries. Of course, with damage, it gets even like handier. Like, okay, it's your base damage is this is your katana, these are your active bonuses. So it's really, really good. I think they did a great job with this stat system. And I want to kind of see if it's in real time as well. So here we have the deluxe edition katana that says plus 35% damage when facing a single enemy. So with 2 enemies, I'm gonna use my katana just to be sure that I have it equipped, etc. Okay, 2 enemies, 22,967, and my active bonuses make it 4.61. So the active bonuses give it times 4.61. So let's see what happens if I kill this guy. And then we only fight 1 enemy. So now the perk from the deluxe edition sword should be active. Like, I still want to see it through a perk, like something on top of my health. It's, of course, we're still going backwards for, say, Valhalla. But hey, this is already a step in the right direction, I guess. So if we now look at my damage here, we see that the active bonuses is now 4.76. So I have an increase in damage, but it's not the 31%, I think. Maybe it takes some time. Let's just like tag on to this guy. We got I'm damaging him. Yeah, now we see that the damage is way more and that the active bonuses does have the 31% extra. So, or 35% extra. Because again, it was 61 and 35 plus that is 96. So, I don't know if the perk only activates if you like lock onto a target, but at least we know the stat page shows the real-time things that are happening, including perks from items. But again, I still think it would be nice to have some way of telling if a perk from a weapon is available, because we of course are not going to go into the menu every time. So what I'm gonna try now is this brand new Kusarigama, and it seems to deal damage if I just swing the weapon around, and the enemies do not even have to stand close to them. They just take damage over time. As you can see, it's not really a lot. And you become a pretty easy target. But yeah, then you also see something else that they've added. And this is another very nice thing, because again, we know they don't want to do damage numbers. So we need to tell if we do crits in another way, and that's what they basically did now. So every time you see the health bar sort of glow red, it means you do a crit. And it's pretty clear. I think I like that. And that of course increases your damage based on your crit damage. So this is the new Kusarigama that might appear at the exchange at some point. Right now it's added via a Helix pack. And I'm doing a giveaway, by the way, for these Helix items. So I will leave a link to that in the pinned comment, so you can participate. I have 2 codes that you can apply for any platform, thanks to Ubisoft. But yeah, as you can see, the Kusarigama is not really great. I'm in a corrupted castle right now, and you see the increased rewards, and they're basically doing something now for a limited time. Corrupted castle rewards. Until next Tuesday, all rewards are doubled. Earn more XP, gold, and gear. So that's basically the same as what they did with the basically the whole month of December, making this activity a bit more valuable. So now we're gonna use. So I was just using the brand new Kusarigama that you see right here. And now I'm gonna use the new Tanto. Light attacks generate energy that released on heavy attacks. So let's see if it's any good. Let's see, we're gonna do it like this, and then I'm charging it up, it seems. And then I'm doing this. And that, okay. It looked kind of crazy, but it didn't do a lot of damage. Yeah, you're basically doing light attacks. On Nightmare, it's kind of hard to get an opening, but again, you see that I'm doing quite a lot of crits. And if I do now a heavy attack, like this, does it like a posture attack work too? Yeah, I'm charging it up. Again, would be nice to tell if I'm. It does seem okay. So your hand changes. You get like a kind of digital hand, and that shows that You're charging it up, I guess. Yeah, that is the damage that we're doing. It's not very good. Okay, now let's look at the items for Yasuke. We got the Singularity Bolt Naginata, light attacks, release, and energy projectile. So let's take a look at that. And we have the Radiant Trail, cheated posture attacks, release, and energy slash. And I, of course, have the cheated attacks are postured on it. So I should be able to just spam that. Let's start with the Naginata, though. I'm not really seeing the bolts, though. It's like they're invisible. Oh, I see them now. Okay, that's pretty awesome. It's like a shuriken that you shoot to the enemy. Oh my god, this is super good. It really kind of works like the Isu sword from Valhalla. You have to... Because like targeting and actually locking onto the enemy makes sure that the projectiles go to that enemy. Here. Oop. Okay, let's see what the sword does. Oh my god. Oh, you can spam it because normally you have to do this. Oh, whoa, does it make it bigger? No, it's the same size. This is really crazy. So the Nawe items are not very good. The Yasuke items are insane. Oh, oh, oh. They're like stunned as well. You can really just stun lock a Daisho. And then when you do a crit, you deal so much damage. It's kind of weird to drop these weapons and then we do not know if there's more content coming. Now, of course, we know there's a year 2. I mean, Simon said it, but I still think with all the changes that happened at Ubisoft, it would be good to at least have a line here. Next few months for Shadows, see below. Thank you. We can't wait for your creativity. Okay. Also here, thank you for an amazing year together. Like, say at least, but we can't wait to share what's coming in year 2. Like something like that, because then you know, okay, there is something coming, because lots has changed since end of November when Simon and I talked. So we got the patch notes right here. There are some other things that they changed as well that I did not touch on yet. So XP earned from contracts will no longer be reduced when the season changes. Seasons will no longer transition when swapping characters, which is great. So you can just stay in your current season when switching Nawe and Yasuke. That's nice. Fixed an issue preventing NPCs from appearing in the hideout, so we might actually see some new persons there. Collision with Eagle at few points will no longer prevent interactions with Synchronize. They overall have a lot of weapon and perk changes, and this likely because of the detailed stat page where they were testing everything and then they figured out, hey, oh, this doesn't really work. Which another great example of why even the developers can get a lot of use out of a detailed stat page. I will leave a link to the patch notes in the video description so you can check these things out for yourself. But yeah, with them still doing all these balance changes a year after launch, you would argue that they're not done, of course. So I also don't think that that's the case, obviously. But again, would have been nice. Or at least like a tweet. We can't wait to see you in year 2. We've been cooking some awesome stuff. Like I would now, for example, not buy a Helix pack without knowing that there's more content coming. Or like invest more time in the game because, yeah, maybe this is it. So I think that would be nice for Ubisoft to address. And yeah, we're of course missing actual content. I think this is the first update since maybe the first one we had after launch that doesn't include any actual content for us to play. So there's really no real reason to boot the game up if you've done everything already or are not like in the mood to do some of the older content. But yeah, there is likely a reason for that. I went over it in my previous video. You can watch it by clicking on the screen. Maybe there are some secret changes. If you found any, let me know in the comments down below. Of course, I'm curious to hear what the New Game Plus sort of downgrade is if you're like on your 6th run. So let me know as well. And yeah, if there are more secret changes and of course other Assassin's Creed news, I will let you know here and on the main channel. So subscribe, leave a like, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.